I'm thinking this is a chiller stream, right? But I gotta talk about some tea first. I'm gonna just recommend that you go watch the stream I did with Kristen Ark recently. We did a stream over on YouTube. The VOD's up. I'll link it all for you. But we covered Illuminati. That's a spicy meatball of tea. All right. Now I should also mention with this story, I know extra information. I know more than what is public, and I can't share it. But that has clouded my judgment on how I go about it with this, because these things that are not public, I know are becoming public, and as a result of knowing things that are happening in the future, I am confident about my opinion in the present. I'm sorry. I'm what can I say? Not to give you all homework, but if you're interested in seeing some of the weird shit about Illuminati, or you're unfamiliar with their lore, you can go watch that on Kristen Ark's channel. I don't even think it was a good apology, right? That's the basis of this. I think she revealed a lot of personal information about her friends, ex-friends, that made it very negative and mean. And, you know, if somebody has a suicide attempt, unless it is like absolutely imperative to your argument, which it is not, you don't bring it up. All right? That's just me. The point of all this to say is that a lovely individual who was a fan of the show didn't like my response to it, and it was some Twitter finagling, right? And I don't want to. I'm not poo-pooing on this girl because I assume girl. I'm sorry if I misgendered you, but you know, this person, I looked on their Twitter, and they're like definitely trying to better their life, and they became like a personal trainer. And I fuck with that. That's like really respectable and understandable, right? But they basically said, well, Blair took on a lot of responsibilities because she has anxiety, right? But my response to this is that just because you have anxiety doesn't mean that it allows you to do things that put other people in financial risk. For example, there was an employee who wasn't working well, was a friend of Blair's, but wasn't fulfilling any of their duties. And so they were getting paid to do nothing, and they were on the cusp of termination. Blair says this. And then after saying that, Blair says, I co-signed a loan on a $60,000 BMW 2021 edition. That's weird, right? Like, that's not, like, anxiety be damned. That is a weird amount of money to spend on somebody who's not doing their job. That's very strange. Like, I run a business, right? I make business expenses. If that's a company car, that's sussy, right? That's not crazy to say. I'm not trying to insinuate. I mean, I kind of am. Let's be real. But I'm also not in the same breath. Yeah, so, for example, Blair gets into real estate. Now, you get into real estate. How do you get into real estate, right? What you do is you buy a beater house, you renovate it, you sell it for a profit, right? That's one way. You could rent it for a profit. It's another way. But what you do is you don't buy brand new land that has no house on it, build a new house, and then try and rent it out to your friend who is not doing the work. Why are you building a new house to rent it out to someone? That is a humongous expense. Was Blair flipping houses? Well, she got into real estate, but she didn't get into real estate. Yeah. Okay, that's weird, right? It's weird to get into real estate by building a new house from scratch. You just don't do that. Wouldn't she be against that? I know. The bread tuber is a landlord. What a fucking surprise. What? Oh my God. The person who complains about landlords in their videos is landlords themselves. I'm sure they're not exactly the thing they complain about. I'm just saying. It's weird. It's an unusual amount of money to spend. So, Sad Milk, right? Sad Milk starts, and as described by Blair, the pretense of this is that they are all equal partners. So they all make equal income. Blair decides that her personality is not good enough, so she takes on managerial duties, right? And she becomes the go-between. Now, they're all equal partners, so they're all making the same amount of money. We were equal partners on Loudmouths, right? So I made the same amount of money that Wild Spartans and Quite made, right? We all shared responsibility. Blair is in charge of Sad Milk's managerial task, including payroll. In order to pay contract editors, which get a 1099, they get paid up front, they pay all their taxes at once. All YouTubers do that, right? You get paid in a 1099. So to pay the editors do not have any contact with the members of Sad Milk. The editors talk to Blair. Blair talks to the YouTubers. The YouTubers pay Blair, and then Blair pays the editors. Why are we having this person in the middle of it? Why is there somebody in between on that structure? Why not just have direct contact with the editors between the YouTubers? I mean, it's their faces, their likeness, their brand in the Sad Milk YouTube videos. Why is that go between there? Right? Now the click was late on a payment. So he ended up paying out of his personal bank account, not his business account, to Blair to pay them. Right? But Blair had to front the money first. So he was paying Blair back for her payment on Click's behalf. But again, this whole we have this whole little linchpin situation. Wouldn't it have been better if the editors could talk directly with the individuals paying them? Like, why are we keeping it so segmented like that? That's very strange. Everyone, now so for example, we're an LLC. We can talk directly, both my brother and I, as hosts of Mana Potion and also as the purveyors of the coffee. Hello, Tomato Man. As purveyors of this coffee, we share responsibility. Both my brother and I talk to the editors and the artist. There is no go-between on purpose because we both hold financial responsibility. I'm just saying it's really fucking weird for people to pay Blair for Blair to pay other people. The way just the whole money discussion around Blair has been really fucking weird. And I don't know if anybody else noticed it in the exposed video. But it really stuck out to me as somebody who runs a business. She's just doing things I would never do, making really strange expenses. Like, she says that Sad Milk is over-expensed, right? So they're in the red, they're in negatives. But then in the same token, she controls all the money. So who's, like, at that point, that it's just Blair who overexpanded the business. Like she overexpanded it. And I get it. It started as a friend thing. You know, they didn't know it was becoming a business. When YouTubers start, none of them know that it's going to become a business, but all of these YouTubers were already working as YouTubers when Sad Milk started. To say that they were like newbies to running a business or newbies to running a YouTube channel, I find preposterous. Something about that is fucking weird, and my alarm bells start ringing, right? So that is what my tweet was about, and to this response, this individual I brought up and am not naming because they're just some random person on the internet. I don't even think she said she watched my content, but like if you've ever watched anything I've ever said, you'd know that my like response to how Blair responded would be completely reasonable. I was also told I had zero empathy. Listen, if Blair is being wrongfully crucified, I will eat crow, okay? But I do not think that is what is happening. But they said, oh, her anxiety led her to overextend. And it's like, okay, if you have like anxiety in your early 20s, right, and you overextend, you realize that's an issue, and so now, like, as you get older, you learn to notice those signs and you pull it back. Blair's in her 30s, and for some reason, she's still having those problems. Like, at some point, you know, there's people's livelihoods on the matter here. If you can't handle managerial roles, professional business responsibilities, if you're a landlord that doesn't fulfill on their duties of taking care of the fucking plumbing, then maybe those things aren't for you, okay? Maybe those things aren't for you. Maybe that's just not something you do. And it's nothing against you or anything of you as a person, right? But it's just being able to recognize those things. And again, I deliberately didn't say this on Kristen Ark's stream, but I know Blair struggles with her mental health. There's a recorded history, there's a written history, and there's been people much less charitable than me who have gone into that history, right? But when you when you're in a business and, you know, there's people, you know, you gotta, like, you have people that rely on you, you know? You're not allowed to just constantly be like, sorry, I'm having a bad day, I can't pay you. That doesn't work. Fucking families rely on you. Fucking people rely on you. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way anymore. You know, and if that's not for you, maybe cut back. scale down, scale back to business so it's not so fucking stressful for you. Or, Blair, how about this? Sad Milk should allow more people to handle the finances, more people to handle managerial tasks. Don't put it all on you. And then when people ask, you turn them away or don't allow them in. There's a lot of very weird things. I don't think Blair's an idiot. I don't think Blair is like, maybe I do think she's a bit of an idiot, but there's things there that like ring as alarm bells for me, This isn't a normal apology video. This, much like a Ms. Kiff apology, is an apology through gritted teeth, She had to apologize because she looked like an idiot. She lost 10,000 subscribers as a result of this. I mean, she has 1 million subscribers, but, she got screwed. So she had to apologize in order to save face. And when she did that, she took all of the people who accused her and sent them up a river. And she didn't realize it at the time. But Oz, she cries for their support. And Oz is backing up all of the people that Blair accused. So what does that say about Blair? Oz is the one who leaked those disgusting pictures of Blair's house. Something's sussy. And something's wrong in Denmark, Like, being mentally ill sucks, but you got to be responsible or let go of said responsibilities. I got pretty bad mental illness, so when I see people try to use that as an excuse for bad behavior, it just makes me mad. It makes people like me look bad. And a follow-up on that is that Blair has been in her Discord saying that the people, like, criticizing her are men, ergo, this is, like, men accusing you of stuff. Blair, this has nothing to do with your gender. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But there's just this weird inconsistencies in your story. Stuff, to me, as somebody who has covered drama, who has covered really sus people, it's all men's fault. Kristen Ark has finally showed up. It sticks out to me. I'm not making any accusations, asking questions, right? These seem like reasonable questions to ask that haven't been answered. I can tell you that from how Blair has tweeted, that she is not happy about apologizing. And she's not the first YouTuber to ever make a tweet like that, where she's like, due to the backlash I am responding to, that's like, I'm not sorry, but I need to say that I am sorry. Like the person who called me out on Twitter, like, obviously don't go fucking harass them or anything like that. It was a polite disagreement, and apparently they got a unreasonable, unsavory DM from a K-On profile picture, which K-On profile pictures continue to represent in absolute stupidity. Obviously, that's not welcome. Obviously, right? But it's there's at a certain point where you have to say, how much of something is responsible to the mental health of the individual, right? Obviously, I could be wrong. I gotta wait for the click and wonder and all the people that are now in the hot seat because Blair passed the potato back. I gotta wait, right? I'm gonna wait because I know some people like Illuminati. I know some people in my audience like Illuminati. But I think that Illuminati is not who she says she is. I just have a hunch. And when Diesel has a hunch, he starts to pursue things. I don't know. I've only covered drama for the last 8 years of my life on YouTube, okay? What do I know? I've only seen it all, guys. She made a lot of enemies. She made a lot of people not like her. And when you do that, people aren't going to give you the same kind of charitability, You get out what you put out. You get back what you put out into the world. Right? And if you go around making enemies of everybody and being mean to people and being an unreasonable person to individuals that you meet, what goes around comes around. Whether or not it's reasonable for those people or not, they feel wronged by you personally. And you have to be an adult about it and take responsibility for it. But Blair, from my knowledge, the things I know, she hasn't done that. And for a lot of people, they feel wronged. They feel like justice was never done. So when people come out and they're like swinging at her, that's why. That's why Sad Milk has been coming after her. So I'm never like rude, or even if a YouTuber does a video on me, I'm not like gonna be fucking like, oh, go fuck yourself, go fucking rot, or anything like that. There's very few YouTubers I would give zero charitability to. I'm trying to give a little bit of it to Blair. I don't really trust her. But, maybe like what? Onision, The Quartering, Ali London, Social Repose. That's it. Those are the only ones I would give zero charitability too. But it just goes to show you don't go around being a dick to people, because all of a sudden it's going to come around and bite you in the ass. Especially if you have a public job. What a surprise. Nope. Yeah, Yandere Dev I would actually give charitability to. I am planning, I am hoping I can get a chance to meet him when I go to California this year. I am going to have a drink with Yandere Dev. Every time I click back on Twitter and I see 20 plus notifications, I go, my life. Did I say something wrong? Oh my God. Hold on. To talk about Blair, one more time, is that if Johnny no fucking profile picture is gonna argue, all right, I'm gonna say go fuck yourself. And also, it's like, you know what's really annoying is when you're like fucking really polite with people, and then they just give you no politeness back. Like I don't try like really ream people out over the internet. But some of these motherfuckers, like, I'm gonna be mean. Hold on, I'm gonna be mean. Like, okay, listen, I'm sorry, I don't want to like 2-follower Andy you, but you look like this, and then you're tweeting at me for like hours, talking about how I did something wrong, how I didn't watch Blair's video 3 times. It's like, fuck you. You're afraid to order chicken nuggets. I don't want to hear shit. Oh, let me guess. You have unrequited baggage that you're taking out on an individual on the internet. Oh, boo. Like I don't go. Like, hold on. It's like you're defending a YouTuber who would shoot you and kill your entire family, okay, and not think a second word about it. You're gonna defend that. That's who you're defending. Let's be real here. People always poo-poo on drama channels when it's somebody they like, but they're always like, rah rah, go get the bad guy when it's somebody that they don't like. Fuck you. Fuck you. Just don't engage in the discourse if you can't fucking handle it. Like again, like I said, I don't want to be mean, but this is the kind of fucking shit that I see all the time. You know, it's the kind of thing where it's like, they would never give me the respect at a time of day, right? Or they would say things about me, disingenuous things, make comments saying, well, like, he's racist, he's this, he's that, right? Not knowing a single fucking thing about me, not knowing anything. And you know what I do? I don't tell people stuff, right? I figured for my argument to make sense against Blair, I needed to tell people that I've taken anxiety medication. I stopped. I'm trying not to right now. You know, I don't tell you my personal business on purpose, right? We talk about the content. I don't talk about Diesel personal life here. But people will try and make judgment calls on what kind of person I am. You know, never once in the FPS Diesel community have we gone, fuck trans people, fuck black people, fuck any kind of, I don't give a shit what kind of race, creed, religion, sex, orientation, disability, ability, anything. I don't care. So if you're not a dick, you're welcome here, right? Is that a reasonable thing to say? But for some reason, it's like I get in online debates, and that's like the first thing that people go to. You know, it's like, oh, well, he's jacked, so he must be like a right-winger or something. Like, fuck off, dude. Get off of Twitter, you fucking troglodyte. It's always like, oh, you're not being a decent human being. You have no empathy. It's like, motherfucker, empathy does not mean I roll over for every single Tom, Dick, and Harry who comes through or makes a drama or something like that. I don't need to do that. Let's be real. You would not give me the time of day. If something bad happened to me, you'd go, thank God he got shot. Thank God he got hurt. Because that's how it is on the internet, right? We don't give it equally. And it's a shame that we don't, right? But I'm trying to be as consistent as possible, you know? But okay, I'll wait. I'll hold it in. When the Blair video comes out, we'll see. We'll see who's winning. It's all fun and games until the drama YouTuber makes a video on someone you like. But that's one of the things I hate about being a drama YouTuber, right? I guess like people really enjoy seeing the comeuppance for people they don't like, but the second it comes to like a YouTuber they like, they'll give them like the wildest benefit of the doubt, right? And I would hope that I've generated enough credibility with my work that when I say something about someone, it's not like coming out my ass. But some people still treat it like it is, as if the other person has like, you know, their word is gospel or something. And that's just not how it is. I mean, if somebody says something about me, you know, there's a reasonability that it could be reasonably true, you know. Maybe it's one of those things that I think kind of is pushing me away from doing drama. Is that there's a lot of people who are. I mean, like you can try and help everybody, right? But there's some gullible ass motherfuckers that exist on planet Earth, and you just cannot help them all. You know, but it's like you try and do your best, especially with drama stuff, right? You want to make sure that you're doing a really good job and being a reasonable person and all that. At least I do, right? I don't want to like. I'm not trying to like shoot down people or like fuck them up 99% of the time, right? But it's like you try and help or like make people wiser, and then some people you could like really help a lot. But there's only so many times you could lead a horse to water, right? Some people are just really hard-headed. Yeah, hard-headed or proud or whatever. I don't know. You got to be comfortable saying, okay, I made a mistake. And that's cool. Like, you can become that person. It's not hard. Trust me, I've made mistakes, and I've owned up to it in videos. Sometimes you fuck up. It's about being honest with those things. I feel like a lot of people latch on to people that they enjoy, and saying something wrong with the person that they enjoy makes them feel like you're insulting them. Yeah, no, there's a huge problem where especially young people associate their personality with the content creator, and it feels like a personal attack per se. That should never be the case. Even some old people, like the Quartering has like a much older audience, so you think they'd be better at like critical thinking. And the answer to that question is no. But yeah, it's like people, as a replacement for having a personality, people say the YouTuber they like is their personality or their thing. And at a certain moment, you got to be able to separate yourself from that, because they're also their own person, and sometimes they do or say stupid shit. And you got to be able to like realize that and be comfortable with it. Doesn't mean you like write them off and hate them, you know, but just to be like a reasonable adult about it, because they're a person and so are you. Ooh, where's the goblins? You know, I don't know how many times I have to say it, but there are other things in life than goblins. And I enjoy things that aren't goblins just the same. Fantasy talk for where the hoe's at.